So I picked up my comics for last week and this week today. So I had a nice little stack to go through. I'm all caught up. I'll have this week's and last week's books kind of mixed in. They're mostly X-Men books, Star Wars books, and then these 3 random books. So I'm just gonna do like 3 videos. The next video will be an X-Men video, and then the video after that will be a video on the Star Wars comics. I got a lot to say on the Star Wars comics. A lot to say. Because I don't know. There's some stuff going on with Lando I don't like that I'm going to explain, and then the artwork, we'll have fun making fun of that. The Darth Vader book actually so far is not bad, but we'll talk about that when the time comes. But this review is going to be on Batman 89, Spiderman 40, and then Mighty Morphin Power Rangers 48. But I also want to do something else, because I have 3 different companies here. DC, Boom Studios, and Marvel. And there's an interesting thing you can do with this as far as talking about the quality of each company. And their books speak a lot. These are all like high-profile books. I would say Boom is probably, their biggest book is probably Spider-Man. Without a doubt, the biggest book at DC is Batman. And then Marvel's biggest book is Spider-Man. Now, all 3 of these books are really good. They're pretty good. Well, Amazing Spider-Man's okay. This Batman story that's going on is actually pretty good. The art's really good in it. I'm liking the art. I don't know what's going on. They're setting up something with the Joker. And interesting fact is this book is worth like $50. It came out last week, and for some reason it's worth like $40 or $50 right now. All because spoilers, okay? If you don't want to know, I would skip ahead 30 seconds. There's this one scene in it right here at the end with the Joker working out some kind of map with the Bat family, and he's got all their identities. Assuming he knows who they all are. Pretty much. He knows who they all are. And he knows who Bruce Wayne is. That's the big story. It's supposed to involve all of the Jokers, and we're supposed to get some resolution. I don't know why this one page, though, here makes it worth $50, but whatever. Here's the thing. The cover, this is a real cover. It feels hard. It's got weight to it. The paper in this is this really nice matte paper, really nice quality paper. DC Comics gives you a nice quality book. Same with Boom Studios. You have like this chromium cover, and then you have nice art inside. The paper still feels good. It has some weight to it. It's not thin. It's not super thin like, for example, Marvel. Marvel's comics, they use the same paper for their cover. Okay? That's cheap right there. And then they use such thin paper, so there's all kinds of fluting on it. Like, look how, like, if I put the flash on there, so if you're like reading underneath some light, like, you can't, because the light reflects off of it so much. The quality of the book is super low, and this is all of their books, by the way. They use really thin paper. They use the same paper for the cover. So, if I were to rub my finger on here a lot, I would rub off J. Jonah's ink onto my finger. It's almost like a newsprint book. It's such cheap quality. But they're still charging you $4 a piece, They're charging you $5 for this book and $5 for this book. But these are because this is a chromium cover. You can get a normal cover for $3.99. Okay, so it's a normal price. And this, I don't know if this is just because it's a special issue or if this is because it's it's the variant cover. So yeah, this is worth like $50. I don't know why. But the story here that I want to put out is that, Marvel comics are trash. They're cheap. They're literally, so they're pumping out so many of these books a month. I mean, there's like 4 or 5 different Spider-Man books, for example. And they're just throwing shit at a wall. Whereas DC's cut back, Boom Studios is cut back. They're giving you a high quality book, but Marvel just keeps bring the quality standard down. They bring everything down, the market down, because they flood the market with books. They just throw stuff everywhere. They hire cheap artists. They do everything cheap. So they do pay out a couple of big names like Jonathan Hickman. They're paying him a pretty penny, I'm sure. I'm sure Nick Spencer, who writes the Spider-Man book here, is getting a pretty penny. But most of the artists and writers that write the majority of their stuff, they don't pay them anything. They get them off Tumblr and these fan fiction websites. Like, look at their editor. Alana Smith, who had no experience in comics. She worked like at a Kohl's or something before she got a job with Marvel. Like, they hire the cheapest talent they can get, and then they make the cheapest comic books they can get. All they do, this is all they do is just run up everything, run up the book counts, and it hurts the industry. It hurts the comic shops. Comic shops keep buying all this stuff, so I don't feel too bad for them, to be honest, in a lot of cases, because they should stop. Like, hey, we're not going to take very many of those books. We don't want them. Oh, you're selling Gamora number one. We don't want that book. Rocket Raccoon, like all these minor characters. Why is there a Gwen Stacy book on the shelves? Who wants that? Nothing against Gwen Stacy, but I mean, how many different versions of Spider-Man characters are you going to give books? Like, and it's not just them; they give all kinds of C-list characters books. It's a terrible company, but they're just going to keep doing it. I don't get it. Boom Studios and DC are the only quality I think that there is in the comic book industry right now. And when DC goes, and all you have left on shelves is this kind of trash, like this Spider-Man book, you can say goodbye to the comic book industry real quick. Anyway, that's it, guys. Thanks for watching. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I'd like to hear what you have to say. Also, if you could, throw a like up, share the video, hit that notification bell. Make sure you still subscribe. Subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.